Well, I know one of the main reasons we're talking today is because of these Record Store Day releases, which is your ongoing series of covering every bit of music your previous two bands has ever done, right?
Written and recorded.
And so we have it out there. Which four are these that are going to be coming out?
It's Unknown Pleasures and Closer, Movement and Power, Corruption and Lies, and Low Life and Brotherhood.
Now, you're a few years into doing these now. In fact, I think you're probably like 5, 6, 7 years into doing these, right?
Yep.
Has it gotten any easier? I mean, what was the prep going into learning even specifically these songs to bring them out live?
It's an interesting question, actually, because it's not particularly the prep, because, even after you've been in the studio and written a new song, and it can be, weeks old, and it takes as much prep, if you like, as an old song that's been 30 years old. Mm-hmm. So it varies. The interesting thing is the feelings it brings back, because you're going through, the album is about a specific period in time. They were recorded in a specific place, very intensely, shall we say. Mm-hmm. So it brings back memories of the making of it. And, the weird bit for me is because I sing and my son plays bass, my son was the same age when he did Joy Division as I was when I did it the first time round.
Wow.
And it followed through every record.
That's completely bizarre.
Yes, and it gives me the weirdest feeling because it's like you're standing there observing it and you hear the song come together, everybody learning their part, and it reminds you of when everybody was writing their part. Yeah. So it gives me a lot of spooky feelings. Now the interesting thing about it is that I always judged our material as being in one long line from, at a later date right through to Lost Sirens, and I always loved all of it. I can't even tell you as yet one New Order song that I don't like to play.
Yeah.
So I've not got to one yet.
So there's not like a
favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a favorite of the 4 albums that are coming out that you really do connect with a little bit heavier than the others?
No, you know what? All of them have been fantastic, and because you lost them, for one reason or other, you lost the Joy Division material, you lost the old and New Order material because Steve and Barney would just not play it. Mm-hmm. So you it's like finding a favourite toy, and you're playing with it again, mm-hmm. and then someone comes along when you have to move on to the next one and takes it off you again, and it's heartbreaking. There was a point with the Light when we could actually play in excess of 120 songs.
Right. Well, I was going to bring that up because once you're through with this chronology run, it's possible that you could start doing like Springsteen-style shows.
Well, they're like Springsteen like now, aren't they? They're 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a hell of a contrast to how we acted and ended up acting in New Order. It really is, in New Order, it never changed much. Once Barney put his foot down, mm-hmm. The set has stayed pretty much the same. The only thing they've added to the set is a few new songs from Music Complete, mm-hmm. which I think is to show the move away from me more than anything to do with the choice of material. So you really were stuck in a rut playing the same songs over and over again. And what I'm doing is that I get to play these absolute gems. And it is more difficult. Some of the songs on the LPs that we never played, we never played them for a reason, because they never sounded good. They never came together. They were more recording experiments mm-hmm. than they were songs. Now, I don't have that luxury of being able to leave them. I'm doing the LPs, so I have to do them hell or high water. And it's got to be done, I have this, argument sometimes with Jack specifically, saying, he's saying that one's not good, that we shouldn't play that. And I have to go, no, listen, what we're doing is art. It's a concept. We're playing every song that's ever done, A-sides and B-sides, so we have to do them.
Yeah.
And Ian Curtis always used to say, which always stuck with me, that you should finish every song because someone will love it. Mm-hmm. And it is absolutely the case. There's always somebody that comes up to you, even if it's not popular, even if it's a wacky B-side that you've given away somewhere. Someone will come along and say, that song means so much to me. you know. So it is like a bit like being on a crusade, and it just makes me very happy, I must say, to have the freedom, because really in New Order, especially towards the end, there was no freedom. So here we are, I'm really indulging myself at the other end, you know. So it is quite a contrast, I have to say.
And I want to take the opportunity, since you brought that up, to at least throw this in there, credit where it's due, talking about songs that have really meant so much, because, you know, I probably heard New Order first because I'm 35, but going back and finding the Joy Division stuff and what Transmission meant to me, especially as I dreamt of being on the radio, and, you know, there's that line in there. But it was always that, you know, I centered so hard on that bass line. And, you know, right at the beginning, I mean, that song has really done a lot of things for me in my life.
It's
so
the simplest bass line in the world, because it never changes throughout the whole song, and it's just two notes.
Yeah.
And it's the rhythm that's as important as the bass line, and it has a little tiny run in it. And yeah, I mean, it's an incredible, I mean, it was the first song that we wrote when we realized we had the power to move a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Some of your material moves some people, but Transmission was the first one where it seemed to move everyone.
Yeah, and it got to me.
Yeah, good. Love Will Tear Us Apart was the same, you see.
Right.
It started to move everyone. You know, you play some songs like Insight 24 Hours, you stranger songs like Auto-Suggestion from Safety to Wear, and they'd move some people. But, you know, to stumble across something that started to move a lot of people, it was quite a revelation.
Yeah.
You know, even for us at that point.
And the way they've endured, I mean, not every band gets that luxury. Like, these songs are still changing people's lives to this day.
Yeah, and, you know, this is one thing that I'll never understand of Barney and Steve, you know, their downright hostility to what you do, which I think is, again, more directed at me than it is about Joy Division's music. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're taking it to places that Joy Division never made it to, and finding huge audiences there waiting for you that are literally 14 years old and upwards.
Yeah.
I feel vindicated in proving that, you know, there was a market for it, and people really appreciate it. They appreciate not only the myth, which, you know, causes a lot of interest around Ian's death. Mm-hmm. But the main thing that carries them along is the music. Now, the music came from all four of us, and it is quite strange that, you know, I mean, it's just weird that they would criticise you so badly, and then, of course, when they got back together again as New Order, they did the same thing. You know, they've got that bit at the end of the set called Forever Joy Division. Yeah, it's that weird thing in New Order towards the end. It was never, you know, do as I do. It was always do as I say. But to go to these new places, because Joy Division never got anywhere. You know, we never made it to America, Australia. God, we've been to China, Mexico, South America. We've been all around the world playing. Mm-hmm. And the audiences, like last night in Rome, just absolutely love it, you know, and I must admit that I love it too.
Is there, now that you're doing these songs, that again, I know that you've been doing them for a few years, this run, but do you hear anything that you wouldn't have been able to notice while you were in the moment recording them?
No, I mean, it's given me a much better insight into the lyrics, I must admit. And the biggest revelation for me, which was absolutely wonderful, was being able to play Closer, because when we finished Closer, of course, Ian died, and we literally put everything in a little box and shoved it at the back of the wardrobe. You know, and, you know, to not be able to play Closer after we'd written it in the studio with Martin Hannett was absolutely heartbreaking, and I never realised how much it meant to me until I played it. You know, it was a wonderful, wonderful feeling, because Closer is one of my favourite LPs, regardless of it being by me, which is, you know, all part of me. Yeah, so it's actually quite strange, and I do actually feel sorry for Barney and Steve, the fact that they've never got to play it. You know, because as a collection of work from start to finish, that LP is beautiful. It really is.
I'll second that. And I mean, I know you write a lot too. I mean, you're writing again with Monaco, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're starting it. It's difficult. You know, people are always asking. It's like they try and make you feel guilty by the fact that you're reveling in the old material and not writing new material, which I don't feel. I mean, I do feel guilty about it. But the thing is that at the moment I don't have a vehicle to write.
Yeah.
I guest with a lot of people, and I also have a side project called Man Ray that we've done a lot of tracks actually as Man Ray, but we're just shit at promoting them. And they were on the Hacienda website, which I think has gone now.
Well, there's some stuff up on Spotify, isn't there? If I remember right.
Yeah. There's some, an EP that we did, and plus I had Freebase in the middle, and I was working last week, actually. I did a track with Rusty Egan of Rich Kids a couple of months ago. I had a #1 in France last year with a group called the Illuminanas.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad about that, by the way.
I'm telling you, don't worry about that. And
Sure.
I've just finished the track now for an American record label, which is a track called Dancing Madly Backwards, actually, which has turned out really well.
Oh, cool.
It's by a 70s American group. I can't remember the name now. The name escapes me, but it's turned out really well. So, yeah, I mean, and I've got a big, long list, actually.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what I'm getting to is you've gotten this moment where you're able to do this thing that is, it looks like it's a strong look back, especially with the books and doing these shows them every night and then being afforded still to be, creative on the other side of it. But I guess what the question I'm getting to is, with the light, is it about nostalgia or do you try to take it further and to get something new to come from it?
Well, it's an interesting point, actually. I mean, I'm a musician, so when people ask me to play music, I get such a kick from doing it that I don't care whether it's nostalgia or whether it's somebody. It's been so far off the other end, it's come back in this end. It's about performing and playing, and the very thought that I've got Technique and Republic to go along with Get Ready and Waiting for the Siren's Call and Lost Sirens still to do, I find very exciting, and the B-sides. So it's weird. Is it nostalgia? I mean, the thing is that Barney always used to say to me I was too melancholic. And like it was a bad thing. And yeah, it's wonderful, when I look at my children now at 18, 26 and 32, and I look back at them as pictures when they were babies and watch videos of them, I can't see how that can construed to be a bad thing.
Sure.
To look back on Ian Curtis and, think what a lovely boy he was, even though he was troubled and he was ill. It's not a bad thing to look back. And the thing is that I'm in very good company. Last night in Rome, we had 1,200 people that went absolutely nuts. And I have to say, they're my kind of people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of the only art forms that we do continue to listen to the same thing. I mean, you see a painting, you might look at it every now and then, but we go to these songs because of the way they continue to make us feel.
All the time. I do it with Ian Jury. I do it with Nico, with Chelsea Girls. I do it over and over again. And I'm certainly not ashamed of it in any way, shape or form. But the thing is that I suppose I have to say that because I'm in great company, it is an easy thing to do. And it is weird, I mean, the first question that journalists generally ask you is, are you working on any new material? And now the thing is that there was a point to working on new material when you got paid for recording. But to give up 6 months, or if you look at an LP like Waiting for the Siren's Call, which took 3 years, to give up 3 years of your life, that is a big, it's a weird undertaking. With Man Ray and the tracks that I do now, I approach it completely differently. I would never lock myself away to my family's detriment and to my own, inevitable self-destruction from doing it in the way that we used to do when we made LPs in the past.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't do it, Maybe one of the good things about the internet and, the lack of record sales has made you act in a different way, is that you do things differently. And it's because of the realities of the music business at the moment. It's a completely different world. And if someone said to me, do you want to lock yourself away for 3 years to do another record? I'd say no. I'll do it at home. And you know what? I'm going to bang it off in a couple of weeks.
Right.
And the thing is that I don't think, and this was always my pain, my problem with Bernard, sorry to bring it up again, was that he always spent so much time going round in circles, he inevitably ended up where he started anyway. And, some people write like that and some people don't. We are We're not stupid enough to realise that people aren't different. We're all different. That's what makes life interesting. But, you wouldn't be able to put up with that now, because it'd just be ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept to do it. And I'm not too sure that maybe in a funny way we've destroyed the magic, which makes us look back more. If you look at an LP like Ian Dury, New Boots and Panties, what a fantastic record. I mean, has anybody, to your memory, written a record as good as that lately? It's very odd, isn't it? The reason maybe for the nostalgia is that you're unable to do it, and things don't sound. It just doesn't sound the same. New Order were very lucky. I realised that doing the book. It was that we really were a product of the 80s, with the new technology that gave everything this fresh new sound that people are very synonymously held with. We were one of them. We started in May 1980, and we actually split up the first time in summer 1990 with the England World Cup songs. So New Order are a perfect product.
Perfect 10 years,
of the 80s, and the wonderful sound because of the technology that came with it.
I know, as we wrap up here, I'm going to do the very journalist thing that you pointed out there, though, and ask, with the books, 3 down, do you want to write a 4th? Is there an idea for a 4th?
Do you know what my idea for a 4th is? Is that I want to do one with a happy ending.
That's right.
All my 3 books have got unhappy endings.
Yeah.
The Hacienda, bankruptcy, Joy Division, the death of Ian Curtis, so sad. And then New Order, this bizarre legal battle that we're still going through as I sit here now after 6 years. Because of them taking the name from me and reducing my 25% of something that I'd worked for 31 years to 1% at a whim, which is proving to be a hell of a fight. So, I want to do a book with a happy ending, man.
It sounds like the family story. Yeah, it sounds like the family story. You've got your son playing bass.
Yeah, the only problems that my kids have is me being, so bloody engrossed in this bloody awful legal battle.
Right.
I would have to say. But, I'm working on it. I mean, it's funny, really, because, I do my blog on Tumblr, and I do miss writing, I do. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful, very satisfaction of writing, because I stumbled across my notes from when I began the New Order book, and comparing that to the finished product, oh my God, how far you've come was wonderful. It really is like climbing Mount Everest, isn't it? And you get there and look down and you think, how the hell did I get up here? All the pain's gone. So I'm looking for a happy ending, mate. Aren't we all?
Well, I'm looking forward to your happy ending too. In fact, but you've given me lots of great happy moments. So for what it's worth, it's out there.
All right. Cheers, man.
Take care, Peter.
Bye.